I think it's just knowing that so many people have experienced the same things, and there are already solutions to the problems that I face that I don't have to figure out on my own. And like part of it's being stubborn. You know, I was raised on a farm, so I'm a country boy. I have a very blue collar mindset. Like even when I'm working on teeth, like you know, I'm like I don't work hard to figure it out. You know, let's get in there and so like you know, right now I'm gonna go home and really consider if it's time for me to have a true coach, someone who's outside of my practice helping me. Because even though I know the things to do, all right, I put myself in the education. I know what needs to be done. Having the intentionality, the time, and the will, honestly, like you're drained at the end of it. Like I know I should be reviewing this with my team.
Welcome to Investment Grade Practices Podcast, where we believe private practice dentists deserve to get the lifestyle today while building an asset for tomorrow. Join your host, Victoria Peterson, to design the practice of your dreams and secure your financial independence. Let's get started.
Welcome to the Everyday Life and Dentistry IGP podcast. I'm Victoria Peterson with
Reagan Robertson
and Joe Blalock. What's up, everybody?
I like having our radio voices.
I do too. I never sound like all my friends know when it's professional Joe. Like, oh, he goes from country Joe and he gets so professional.
You're pro Joe.
Yeah, I'm from the South, you know, and I gotta talk like I'm somebody, you know. Fake it till you make it.
Is this your professional Joe voice right now?
Well, I'm trying really hard.
I feel a little twang in there.
Yeah.
Just a little twang.
You got to throw it in there. I don't want people thinking I can't say that. Y'all are from the North. But I need people knowing I'm from the South. Okay?
I'm from Georgia.
I'm proud. Yeah, I'm proud of it. I'm proud of it.
So let's tell people why we're here, Joe.
Yeah, so we are in Irving, Texas for the Productive Dentist Academy workshop. I just brought my team up here and, you know, I was telling them this is probably one of the most productive, it sounds corny because it's Productive Dentist Academy, but productive courses that I've gone to with my team. We just had like an hour meeting after the course. Like I'm kind of on a high right now, honestly.
Natural high.
A natural yeah, a natural high, yeah.
We pump a little extra oxygen into those rooms.
Yeah, come to PDA, You'll leave buzzing.
All right. We also have Reagan Robertson, the president, CMO, and podcast host for Everyday Practices.
Thank you so much for having me. When I found out that Joe was going to come to the Productive Dentist Academy workshop, I jumped out of my skin because we got to spend time together last year, right, Joe, when you were opening your practice?
Yeah. And honestly, like a little backstory on me. So, I started a practice I opened 7 days before the pandemic shut down. And I had to go through some things that I never prepared for. Most people, you know, you weren't prepared for it. But through the journey, PDA and the PDA philosophy has truly helped us not only come out of it, but recover anything that I ever thought we would be able to produce or collect during that time. Like during the shutdown, I enrolled in an online course with you guys. Like, so I'm at home, you know, I can't do anything, but I'm still learning and preparing. Like, you know, when this thing opens, like, I didn't like just hide under a shell. You know, I'm trying to like, you know, I'm fighting, right?
Yeah,
I'm trying to learn everything that we can. So when we did open back up, I was able to implement concepts. You know, I didn't implement everything, but, you know, you start by, like, the ideas because we have a young team and I can train them. You know, they're impressionable at this point. And so I was a year and a half ago. Now I bring them to a live course. They hear you guys on stage and their eyes are like, it makes sense. You know, you've been talking about this, but now they showed me on paper, like I see this. So it's been really cool. I can't thank you guys enough. You guys are excited for me to be here. Like I'm honored, truly honored to be here.
Wow, thank you. Well, and I'd love to brag on you a little bit because Dr. Bruce and Victoria, you have always taught me about mindset the mindset of abundance versus scarcity, and how to get through life because unexpected things happen all the time. And what stood out to me, Joe, about you specifically is you mentioned starting up, 7 days in, you get shut down. Your roof was leaking, right? Wasn't it? I think it was like you were...
The roof was leaking, like things were on fire. Like,
yeah.
It was a lot, yeah.
And your behavior, your attitude, your mental state was shocking to me because you were like, it's going to be what it's going to be. We're going to get through this. It's going to turn out all right on the other end of it. And I won't reveal your numbers, but I did happen to see your production since then, going from I hope to get a paycheck to where you're at now with 5 ops is absolutely astounding. And I truly believe that your ability to lead with a mindset of abundance, be an eternal learner. I mean, Victoria, you promote nothing but eternal learning. You and Bruce both go into that. So I think it's a really special combination. It takes the numbers, but it takes that heart as well to bring it to life. So to see you here in person is incredible. And you're a great storyteller. So you started a podcast before we did and said, I'm going to share everything I'm going through, right?
Yeah. Well, thank you for that. That means a lot. We just started a podcast in dental school after our influencers. You guys didn't have one at the time, but like you were an influencer, I don't know if you remember this, Victoria, like this was 4 years ago at the first Voices of Dentistry. Victoria was there on stage lecturing, and we're still in dental school, and she's packing up her stuff. Like you had like this big box of things you had to carry, and you were by yourself. It was like the thing that held your banner. And you were pointing at me, and Matthew ran over to you and was like, hey, no, we got it. And we took it up front for you. Like, she's like, oh, y'all must be from the South. We're like, oh, yeah, we're from Tennessee,
We're your gentlemen.
No, but we look up to our role models. You guys are role models, and we're just trying to, duplicate the stuff that you teach.
You know what I love about you, Joe? I mean, you and Mark Costas and all of you inspired me to do a podcast. So I started Everyday Practices with Chad. Yep. And then I quickly recognized that Reagan is the one that really needed to be co-hosting that with Chad. You guys are hitting it out of the park.
Thank you.
And
that's a great show, by the way.
It's fun because you take everyday doctors and say, what do you do? What do you do every day? What's your day in and day out practice that makes your practice run? I love that. And Bruce has the Productive Dentist Academy, and it took a while to find my voice in all of this, and it's starting to come out. And I wanted to ask you a couple of questions because my podcast on investment grade practice is to help doctors love the practice they have today and the lifestyle while they're building an asset for tomorrow. And in our breakout today, remember, you were sitting up front, so you may not have seen, but I said, how many of you know what it'll take for you to retire? And I would say out of 40 doctors, maybe 7 raised their hand. Mm-hmm. And how many of you look at your profit and loss statement every month by the 15th, which is generous? And about a third of the room went up. And then by the 10th. I was going to say, PDA would never say that by the 15th of the month. That's too late. And then I was like, and by the 10th, and by the 5th. And, it got down to like 3 people are really doing a profit and loss with a budget. They know their overhead. And I see you, I'll put you on the spot because we're live here on recorded radio.
WKOT.
That's right. It seems to me that you're already grounding in on what creates value, not just cash flow. I'm building a system. So the principles of invest in yourself as a business owner and a clinician, grow the value by growing your team and helping them understand how they can grow, and then protect and package your assets, so that that's later down the line for you when you get ready to sell. But how do you see that? What has helped you stay focused on building value, not just running the rat race?
I think for me is, I looked at where people that were where I wanted to be. So I looked at dentists and business owners and said, okay, who are the people that are doing what I want, that are where I want to be in 5, 10, 15 years? And I literally duplicated their journey and still am. I'm so early in the journey. I wish I had it with me in my backpack. I drew this curve and showed it to my team. I said, this is 2020. This is where we started for Lakeside Dental, okay? And I did a journey up till some future endpoint. Could be retirement, could be when they're tired of dentistry, could be when I want to do something else. but some arbitrary future endpoint. And I showed them this growth curve, and the curve is a 45-degree angle, straight up. There's no bumps. We're moving up, okay? And I showed them the way we're going to get there, and that's education. Okay, you go and learn. I have to go to the best courses. Like you have to go to the courses. Like why would you reinvent the wheel? Like they've already done this. Like Bruce Baird, Victoria, Mark Costas, like you guys have already done this. Go learn it. Okay, you can perfect it,
right?
But go learn it. Go learn from Justin Moody at Implant Pathway.
Yes.
Okay, and then take it back. So we learn, then we implement. Okay, same thing with, like I wanted to learn from, like, I use dentist advisors.
Yeah,
I use them already because I see the value, and I need someone to help coach me on where my money's going, where I'm spending, how my budget is. So I'm utilizing the resources that are out there. This is 2021. Like, you have resources on your phone. The people that are where I want to be have either created these resources themselves or they're using them. Okay, and that's the biggest thing for me. And then on that growth curve, you learn, you go get educated, then you implement. The next thing for us, I think, actually might be coaching. The people that are doing the things that you talked about, the ones that had their hand up, that are looking at their profit and loss statement, I bet they're getting coached. And at first, right out of school, I had this mindset of save a penny, I can do this myself.
Right.
Well, here's what happens. You ain't got time for crap. And I'm at the dinner table, and this is where I'm at. I'm at the dinner table, and my wife's like, hello? I'm like, sorry. She's like, what are you doing? I'm like, my mind's elsewhere. Like, you can't live like that. So I'm learning, I'm getting better. I'm not perfect. I'm not
So
perfect
you're already
by
learning
anything.
mindfulness right now and being present right now.
Yes, I'm trying.
I mean, take a time out from that, because you've already learned from so many doctors that I hear that are probably 20 years into the career after you, that said, okay, I burned through this marriage, I crashed this practice over here, I went this because I just was so obsessed with more, I can do it myself, I can figure it out, and they just burn the candles at both ends. So it sounds like you were doing all the right steps of all of these things you've learned over the last year. Is there something in particular, one thing that was a surprise to you? Was there anything in the learning that kind of turned your head the other way and was like, whoa, I've never thought about it that way before?
I think it's just knowing that so many people have experienced the same things, and there are already solutions to the problems that I face that I don't have to figure out on my own. And like, part of it's being stubborn. I was raised on a farm, so I'm a country boy. I have a very blue collar mindset. Like, even when I'm working on teeth, like, I'm like, I don't work hard to figure it out. Let's get in there and like, cowboy up. Get
duct tape.
Yeah. So like, I do that with my family life and my business, but I know that's how I am. So I try to counter that by trying to find the solutions that have been done. So like, right now I'm going to go home and really consider if it's time for me to have a true coach, someone who's outside of my practice helping me, because even though I know the things to do, all right, I put myself in the education. I know what needs to be done. Having the intentionality, the time, and the will, honestly, like, you're drained at the end of, like, I know I should be reviewing this with my team. I know I should pull up my P&L, my bank statement. Truth is, like, I'll go 2 weeks without looking at it because, like, I'm scared, or like, you just don't have the.
It's like the crap tables. Come on, baby.
like I know when not to. Like, let's wait a couple weeks and then I'll look.
It'll look better.
I don't want to freak out.
Yeah, especially during COVID and a scratch start.
Yeah,
that took a lot of courage.
Honestly, we were like. We were a month away from going bankrupt. We don't need, that's neither here nor there. I knew it was going to be fine even if we did. Like, I had a plan. Okay, it's going to be okay. But, like, we were a month away from it.
That's true leadership.
I was just talking to my CPA on the phone. Like, we're talking about, I want to get I have an Omnicam. I want to get a prime scan now. And I was talking to him about making the investment. I'm like, I know I can make the investment right now. But, dude,
should I?
A year and a half ago, like, dude, I didn't even know if we were going to, like, make it. Like this wasn't that long ago. And now I'm to the point where I can get a prime scan and it's okay. But like, I'm so close to where I was then, my mind hasn't caught up to where we're at, if that makes sense.
Absolutely makes sense. Where does that come from? That is not normal to say. It is absolutely not normal to be like, maybe we'll go bankrupt. We're going to be okay anyway. That's coming from some deep faith. You said that you grew up on a farm. Was it a cattle ranch?
Yeah, we had a cattle farm. We raised anywhere from about 50 to 100 head of cows on about 100 acres. We leased more land sometimes, so we had some. I'm faith-based for sure. Like 100 years from now, like ain't nobody gonna be here that's listening to this. Like whatever you believe, like I believe where I'm going. But like that time's coming. So to me, it doesn't matter. Like at the end of the day, it's okay. On our worst, there's people right now. Like look at the refugees from Afghanistan. Like on our worst days, like everyone listen. On your worst day, it is way better than 95% of people who have walked on planet Earth.
That's right.
Like our worst problem. Like we all have grief. Like I've experienced a lot of grief. This year, I don't even know if I told y'all, my grandmother passed away like a couple weeks ago. Like right when mom was getting done with her chemotherapy, and my grandma was like my other mom. Like that was a blow. Like she was the matriarch of our family on the farm, and we're still dealing with that.
Yeah.
But we're faith based. Our whole family is, and it's going to be okay. The sun will come up again tomorrow. All we can do is what's best for our family now, what's best for our friends, and with regard to our business, what's best for your patients. That's the next best thing you could do.
Isn't it fun to see a leader right here?
Right
making?
now.
in the making. I like this. I'm trying. Like I've got a long way to go still.
You have just summed up something that I have not heard people in their 50s, 60s, or even 70s say. So it's very magnetic. It's very healthy, mentally healthy, spiritually healthy.
I was going to say, you and I have worked together for a decade.
Yes.
Right? And Reagan's watched me go through this. I take every emotional intelligence, every leadership class, get a doctorate in spirituality. And I thought, you just summed up everything that they all say is just live in the moment and know that I'm doing the best I can right now. And you just summarize, what's the best for my family? What's the best for me? What's the best for my patients? How do I just do my best right here, right now? I mean, to me, that's a life with no regrets, because you're being conscious and you're saying, this is my best. And Chad said it earlier today. It's like, sometimes I'm not a 5-star general. All I can be is a lieutenant that day, and that's my best on that day. And I think that's good enough. I think that's, and you can push yourself, and you do as a leader. But there's also this self-care. How do you regenerate and take care of yourself?
That's a good question.
I don't. I've got to do better.
You don't?
I need to do a better job of taking care of me. I'm really hard on myself, honestly, and I don't know if that's good or bad. Like there's probably a middle ground, but like
you're
wife
kind of wired that from high school, right? You got to get straight A's, you got to get in schools, it's competitive, and you got to work out, and you got to be in all the clubs, and you're doing it. So your dentistry itself just attracts hyperachievers who are so singularly focused that it doesn't matter about food, doesn't matter about sleep, it just matters about the grades, right? It just matters about the case. So I was wondering, how does a young dentist start to rebalance their life and social life and relationships and community?
I'm trying to figure it out, honestly, and I know that's where I need to focus. My wife will tell you there's very few days where I come home and I'm like, I had a great day. Like I come home most days and it's like, man, it's really stressful.
Yeah.
Or like I feel I'm a terrible dentist. I'm a terrible leader. Like that's how I'm talking to myself. Yeah, you're exhausted, and you don't see it in the day to day. Like on paper, you look back and we're a successful office, and our patients would say, we're a great office. But as the leader of the organization, you don't feel that necessarily. So I've got to get better at like whatever that is. I've got to find it, because that's my weakest point, honestly.
I can offer you advice from my kindergarten teacher.
All right. This is the best advice.
There you go. Take a nap every day.
I love that.
Wasn't that just the best thing about kindergarten?
I love naps.
They cut that out of kindergarten in Tennessee.
We don't have it here up in Washington either. No naps.
How could
Poor
you
kids. I don't know.
Well, I mean, when you think about, I do a lot of neuro coaching, right? And when you really think about brain science, it takes 40% more glucose to run your brain than the rest of your body, right? And so you get that sugar drop, your blood pressure's off, everything's off. And so when you're that intense and focused in the operatory, it really is beyond just, hey, I'm being lazy and taking a nap. It's really shutting down the computer of your mind and defragging and letting it go. So I learned early on to take 20-minute power naps. I think it saved me in my career.
You know, something that I need to do that I bet I would speak to a lot of people on right now is our minds never shut off.
Yep.
Because we have our cell phone and our social media and our apps and whatever kind of group you're in, text message threads, sports, it never shuts down.
Right.
And I know that I've got to get better at that, like throughout the day.
If you don't have time 20 minutes for a nap, I'll give you my next best because I love a nap. Oh, I love a nap.
She's a good app girl.
They're not called peace pucks. Peace pucks is what I call them. I'll find the name for you. They're these two little musical discs, and they sit right, and you just turn them on for 3 minutes. It's kind of like, have you ever heard singing bowls? Like the Tibetans, the bong.
Yeah.
So it does that, and it does it in random sessions. So you set one on the left and one on the right, and it helps you become immediately present and shut down the dopamine receptors of the dings from the text messages. I get so many text messages a day. It's insane.
Oh, yeah.
Don't turn on social media because then it's just like an absolute flood, or emails. And for you, patience plus emails plus, I mean, it's a lot.
Yeah,
It's
and
all
the
that
podcast.
Pavlov's dog, ding, ding, ding.
With I have 3 Facebook pages that I have mine, I have the practice, and I have our podcast.
You lazy lima bean.
And I have and I have the same with emails.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And then the text message threads. So
do you have an office in your practice that you can go kind of hide in?
My office is 1,400 square feet.
Oh.
My practice.
Your practice is, but do you have a little space that's private for you?
I have 4 by 4 square between the hygiene op and the front desk. So no, all day long, I am with the entire, I do not, unless I go to my truck, I've got no space. And that is one thing, I had no choice because I had to have 5 ops.
Yeah.
You're bigger
tough.
than 4x4.
I know. They make fun of me. Like I get in there and I literally have a closet. My
first professional job was in a closet where I actually met my husband. We had our backs together, and I was like, "Well, I'll take it." We came out of the closet
with your husband.
Yeah, with my husband. Put those in there, or put those in your truck, and 3 minutes. So when things start to ratchet up, you go in. It has been a lifesaver for me because I've asked for years, how do I lower my anxiety? A mentor once came to me because I was bawling embarrassingly so. And I went into the negative space of, I'm not good enough. I'm not a good enough wife. I'm not a good enough mom. I'm definitely not good at work. I'm just basically a big failure. And he made me stop, and he made me take a breath, got me that calm. And he said, Reagan, all the top performers suffer with this. All of them. You're not going to get away from it.
Well,
you're not seeing yourself accurately. And I read an article the other day that said people on that IQ spectrum, kind of the more you creep up, now I'm definitely no genius, but I know you start to be able to process more and more information and more scenarios. So when you said to me, you've got this arbitrary number at the end, that tells me that you're thinking constantly.
Always.
Yeah. So you need those moments for you so you can reset that brain, and it's not selfish. I used to think it was selfish too. Victoria worked hard on me.
Well, and the social statistics in our industry don't lie. So we'll keep encouraging you. You're going to encourage us.
Yeah, this is good for
This is
good. This was a good little
physical
session.
Health.
I told my wife at dinner, and this is the last thing I'll say, and we can wrap up, but I told my wife, I said, I hope when I get here I leave rejuvenated. And I did. From the first day, I knew that I would. I'm just being with other like-minded people, people who are positive. This is a positive core. I can't say, I'm not a client of PDA yet. Anyway, I just come to the courses. They're my friends, honestly. But this is the most optimistic, positive, educational group of people that I've been in contact with. I've been to lots of courses. Okay, I have like hundreds of hours in the last 2 years. I'd leave rejuvenated. This is great for the soul. So
wow,
that's my genuine opinion and thankfulness of where we're at today.
Whew. Your vulnerability is uncommon. And if I remember right, you are doing your own event coming up. Is that right?
Yeah, we are going to have an event. We were going to have one in September, but we had to move it. So we're going to do one hopefully in the spring. Mm-hmm. So you guys got to be there. Yeah, we have the Life and Dentistry Conference. It's been a couple years, unfortunately, due to COVID. But we're gonna be there, so it's gonna be
in the spring 2022.
Yeah, in Lexington, Kentucky. So it'll be cool.
We'll be there.
We'll be there.
We'd love it. We'll have a great time. And then
bourbon and barbecue tour.
Bourbon and barbecue, baby. Bourbon barbecued horses. Doesn't get any better than that.
Had me at horses. Let's go. Our producer's coming with.
Please, it'll be great. We'll do some live podcasting.
Thank you for listening to the Everyday Practices podcast. Our goal is to always provide you with easy to implement business tips for the outcomes you deserve. If your growth isn't where you want it to be and you can't figure out how to bust through those business or marketing challenges on your own, Productive Dentist Academy is offering a completely complimentary investment grade practices consultation. You take an easy, quick 5-minute assessment, you'll get your business health score, and then meet one-on-one with a PDA business advisor to develop a roadmap to your specific success. Head on over to www.productivedentist.com to take your assessment today.
Thank you for tuning in to this episode of Investment Grade Practices Podcast. If you find value in this episode, help us spread the word by passing it along to a dental friend, subscribe, and give us a like on iTunes or Spotify. Learn more about building your investment grade practice at productivedentist.com today.